Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, why does my butt look flatter, even though I'm still active? You walk, you move, maybe you even do a few exercises, and yet the shape just doesn't look the way it used to, especially on the sides or upper area. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. For many adults over 50, this change happens slowly and quietly. What once felt firm and lifted can start to look flatter or less supported, and most people assume it's just part of aging. The usual advice is simple. Just do more glute exercises. More squats, more bridges, more effort. But here's what almost no one tells you, and this is important. Sometimes the problem isn't that your glutes are weak, it's that they're not able to turn on properly in the first place. And no amount of squeezing or extra reps will fix that. In this video, I'm going to show you what's really going on and why one key piece is often missing. Once you understand it, everything starts to make sense. And more importantly, it gives you a clear, realistic path forward. Let's break it down together. Many adults over the age of 60 have heard the same advice again and again. Just walk more. That will fix your leg circulation. It sounds simple, logical, and reassuring. Walking is natural, low impact, and something most people feel they should be able to do. So they follow that advice faithfully, taking daily walks, moving whenever they can, and believing they're doing the right thing for their health. But here's the frustrating part. For many people, the symptoms don't go away. Feet still feel cold. Ankles still swell by the end of the day. Legs feel heavy, tired, or unsteady on stairs. Over time, doubt creeps in. Am I not walking enough? Am I doing something wrong? Is this just what aging feels like? The truth is, this experience is incredibly common, and it's not a personal failure. After 60, the body changes in ways most general exercise advice doesn't account for. Walking alone, especially at a comfortable pace, often isn't enough to stimulate the specific muscle systems responsible for pumping blood back up from the legs to the heart. That doesn't mean walking is bad. It simply means it's incomplete. Understanding this is important because it shifts the conversation from blame to clarity. The issue isn't effort or motivation. It's that many people have been given only part of the solution. Once you recognize that, a much more effective and empowering path forward becomes possible. Poor leg circulation is often misunderstood as a minor inconvenience, but in reality, it can be a serious signal that the body is under strain. Cold feet, swelling around the ankles, or a heavy feeling in the legs are not just comfort issues. They often indicate that blood is not moving efficiently back to the heart, which means tissues are receiving less oxygen and fewer nutrients than they need. Over time, this can slow healing, increase fatigue, and weaken the muscles that support balance and mobility. What makes poor circulation especially concerning is how quietly it progresses. Many people don't experience sharp pain, so they assume nothing is wrong. But as circulation declines, the risk of falls increases, walking becomes more cautious, and daily activities start to feel harder than they should. In more advanced cases, long-term circulation problems can contribute to infections, ulcers, and serious medical complications that greatly affect quality of life. The good news is that awareness changes everything. When you understand what these symptoms really mean, you can take steps to support your circulation before small problems turn into major setbacks. If this information is helpful to you, subscribe to the channel for more clear, science-based guidance designed specifically for adults over 50. And please leave a comment below. Share your age, where you're watching from, or whether you've noticed any circulation issues yourself. Your experience matters, and your comment helps this community grow and support one another. Walking is often presented as the ultimate solution for circulation, and it does provide important health benefits. It keeps the joints moving, supports heart health, and helps maintain overall mobility. However, when it comes specifically to improving leg circulation after the age of 60, walking by itself often falls short. The reason is not a lack of effort, but the way walking is typically performed as we age. Most older adults naturally walk at a relaxed pace, with shorter strides and minimal push-off from the feet. This style of movement relies more on momentum than muscle engagement. As a result, the calf muscles, the primary drivers of blood flow from the lower legs back to the heart, are not activated strongly or long enough to create meaningful improvements in circulation. Blood can continue to pool in the feet and ankles, even in people who walk every day. This is why many individuals feel confused and discouraged. They are active, they are consistent, and yet their legs still feel cold, heavy, or swollen. Walking isn't wrong, it's simply incomplete. It supports general health, but it doesn't fully train the muscle-based pumping system that circulation depends on. Once this distinction is understood, everything changes. Instead of pushing harder or walking longer, the focus can shift toward movements that intentionally activate the muscles responsible for blood flow. That's where real progress begins. Another important reason walking often fails to improve circulation is that the way most people walk changes significantly with age. Over time, steps become shorter, the pace slows down, and the push from the toes becomes softer. These changes are not laziness. They are natural adaptations to feel safer and reduce joint strain. However, this safer walking pattern comes with a hidden cost. When stride length shortens and push-off weakens, the muscles that play a key role in circulation, especially the calves, thighs, and hips, are no longer fully challenged. These muscles need a certain level of tension and duration of contraction to help push blood upward against gravity. Gentle walking rarely creates that demand. Instead, the movement becomes passive, with the body relying on forward momentum rather than active muscle engagement. As a result, even long daily walks may do little to address swelling, cold feet, or that heavy leg feeling at the end of the day. Many people assume the solution is to walk faster or farther, but that can increase the risk of joint pain, fatigue, or falls, especially for older adults. The issue isn't effort, it's biomechanics. Understanding this removes a lot of frustration. It explains why walking should help, but often doesn't. Once you realize that circulation depends more on how muscles contract than on how many steps you take, it becomes clear why targeted, intentional movements are needed. These movements work with the aging body, not against it, and they fill in the gap that walking alone simply can't cover. At the center of healthy leg circulation is a group of muscles many people rarely think about: the calves. These muscles are often called the body's second heart because of the powerful role they play in moving blood upward from the legs back to the heart. Every time the calf muscles contract, they squeeze the deep veins in the lower legs and help push blood against gravity. This pumping action becomes especially important after 60, when veins lose some elasticity and circulation naturally slows. When the calves are weak or underused, this pump doesn't work effectively. Blood begins to pool in the feet and ankles, leading to swelling, stiffness, coldness, and fatigue. Over time, poor calf activation can also affect balance and walking confidence, increasing the risk of falls. Simply moving the legs isn't enough. The calves must contract with intention and control to do their job properly. Understanding the role of the calves is a turning point. It explains why many people walk daily yet still struggle with circulation issues. The problem isn't age or effort, it's that the second heart hasn't been trained correctly. The good news is that this system can be reactivated with the right movements. If this insight is helpful, subscribe to the channel for more practical, science-based guidance for healthy aging. And leave a comment below. Have you ever noticed swelling, cold feet, or heavy legs? Let us know your age and where you're watching from. Your story helps others feel less alone. When the calf pump is not working properly, the effects show up gradually but consistently in everyday life. Blood begins to collect in the feet and ankles instead of circulating efficiently back to the heart. This pooling increases pressure in the lower legs, which leads to swelling, stiffness, and that familiar heavy or tight feeling by the end of the day. Feet may feel colder than usual because warm, oxygen-rich blood is not reaching the tissues as effectively. Over time, reduced circulation also means muscles receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients. This causes the legs to fatigue more quickly, even during simple activities like standing for a few minutes, walking short distances, or climbing stairs. As fatigue increases, balance often suffers. Movements become slower and more cautious. not because of weakness alone, but because the body no longer feels stable or responsive. What makes this process especially challenging is how subtle it can be. Many people adjust without realizing it, walking more carefully, avoiding stairs, or sitting more often. These adaptations feel harmless, but they reduce muscle use even further, which worsens circulation and accelerates decline. This is how a quiet cycle begins. Poor circulation leads to less movement, and less movement leads to even poorer circulation. Recognizing these signs early is crucial. Swelling, cold feet, heaviness, and reduced confidence are not just discomforts. They are signals that the circulation system needs targeted support. Addressing them early can help restore strength, stability, and independence before bigger problems develop. The solution to poor leg circulation is not to push harder or move more, but to move more intelligently. After the age of 60, the body responds best to exercises that intentionally activate the muscles responsible for returning blood from the legs to the heart. Random movement or low-effort activity often fails to create enough muscle engagement to improve circulation in a meaningful way. What matters is activating the right muscles, in the right sequence, for the right amount of time. Targeted activation of the calves, thighs, and hips helps restore the natural pumping system that circulation depends on. These muscles work together to compress the veins and support blood flow against gravity. When trained correctly, even gentle movements can produce strong circulatory benefits without placing excess stress on the joints. This approach is especially important for older adults, who may need to avoid high-impact or fast-paced exercise. Shifting the focus from doing more to doing what works is empowering. It removes frustration and reduces the risk of injury while delivering better results. Instead of long walks that leave the legs tired but unchanged, purposeful exercises create noticeable improvements: warmer feet, reduced swelling, better balance, and greater confidence in daily movement. This strategy works with the biology of aging rather than fighting against it. By choosing movements designed for the body you have now, circulation training becomes safer, more effective, and easier to maintain over time. The exercises used to improve leg circulation in this approach are not based on trends, social media routines, or guesswork. They come from well-established principles in physical therapy and vascular rehabilitation, where safety and effectiveness are the top priorities. These movements have been used for years by clinicians to help older adults recover strength, restore blood flow, and regain confidence after periods of inactivity, surgery, or circulation-related issues. What makes these exercises different from general fitness advice is that they are designed specifically for the aging body. They take into account changes in muscle mass, joint mobility, nerve signaling, and vascular function that naturally occur after 60. Rather than demanding high intensity or endurance, they focus on controlled muscle activation, proper alignment, and consistent repetition. This allows the circulation system to improve without overstressing the joints or increasing fall risk. Research consistently shows that muscles strengthen most effectively when movements are performed with correct positioning and intention. When joints are aligned and the nervous system is engaged, the right muscles activate and support blood flow as intended. This is why these exercises are commonly prescribed in clinical settings, rather than replaced by generic walking programs. By following science-backed movements, older adults can improve circulation in a way that is reliable, safe, and sustainable. The goal is not short-term effort, but long-term function, independence, and quality of life. The first targeted movement in this approach is the seated ankle pump, a simple exercise that plays a powerful role in restoring leg circulation. At first glance, it may look almost too easy to matter, just moving the feet up and down while sitting. But this movement directly activates the calf muscles, which are responsible for pumping blood from the lower legs back toward the heart. When people spend long periods sitting or rely only on gentle walking, the calf pump becomes inactive. Blood begins to settle in the feet and ankles, leading to swelling, stiffness, and a heavy sensation in the legs. The seated ankle pump reverses this process by creating repeated, controlled contractions in the calves. Each contraction gently squeezes the veins and encourages blood to move upward, improving circulation without any impact on the joints. One of the greatest strengths of this exercise is its accessibility. It can be done almost anywhere, while watching television, reading, or resting after meals. This makes it ideal for older adults who may not feel comfortable standing for long periods, or who are rebuilding strength gradually. The focus is not speed or force, but slow, deliberate movement that keeps the muscles engaged. When practiced consistently, ankle pumps can help reduce swelling, improve foot warmth, and ease leg discomfort. More importantly, they wake up the circulation system, preparing the legs for additional strength and balance exercises. This simple movement often becomes the foundation on which real, lasting circulation improvements are built. The seated leg lift is a simple movement, but it represents something much bigger than just another exercise. It reminds us that improving circulation and strength after 60 does not require extreme workouts or complicated routines. By lifting one leg at a time while seated, the muscles of the thighs and hips are activated in a safe, controlled way. These muscles play an essential role in supporting blood flow, stabilizing the body, and making everyday movements, like standing up, walking, and climbing stairs, feel easier and more confident. When these muscles are strengthened, the entire lower body works more efficiently. Blood moves more freely, fatigue decreases, and balance improves. Over time, small changes like this add up to meaningful results. Less swelling, warmer legs, and greater confidence in daily life. Most importantly, these improvements help protect independence and reduce the risk of falls, which is a major concern for many older adults. This is not about perfection or pushing yourself beyond your limits. It's about choosing movements that work with your body and committing to them consistently. If this approach resonates with you, subscribe to the channel for more science-based, senior-friendly guidance designed to support healthy aging. And leave a comment below. Tell us your age, where you're watching from, or which exercise you plan to start with. We read every comment, and your experience may encourage someone else to take their first step toward better health.